Have you ever truly looked at yourself? I mean, really looked beyond the physical reflection staring back at you in the mirror, because that's not the real you. The real you is the image you hold within your mind, your self-image. And this inner perception of yourself is more powerful than you can imagine. It controls your entire life. Back in 1960, a brilliant plastic surgeon named Dr. Maxwell Maltz wrote a groundbreaking book called Psychocybernetics. In it, he revealed what he called the greatest discovery of his generation. You see, Maltz noticed a fascinating pattern with his patients. Someone undergo major physical transformations like scar revisions or nose jobs, and their personalities would completely shift. They became more confident, outgoing versions of themselves. But for others, despite his surgeries, their personalities remained the same. This led Maltz to realize that we have two self-images, the outer one we see in the mirror and the inner one ingrained in our psyches. And it's this inner self-perception that dictates how we move through life. People with poor self-image avoid eye contact, have shaky handshakes, and essentially hide from the world. They don't even like or even know themselves. But when they improve their self-image, everything transforms. Their income, relationships, health, it's life-changing.
We're the middle children of history, man. No purpose or place. We have no great war, no great depression. Our great war is a spiritual war. Our great depression is our lives. We've all been raised on television to believe that one day we'd all be millionaires and movie gods and rock stars, but we won't. We're slowly learning that fact. And we're very, very pissed off.
And you could do it too by simply studying yourself, by understanding the phenomenal being that you truly are. Because let me tell you, when I started digging into this nearly 6 years ago, my life was a mess. Low self-esteem, lousy job, zero fun. But as I learned more about myself, everything shifted. Now I have an incredible relationship, 3 years strong, graduated from college, achieved 5,000 subs on YouTube, finally achieved the body I really wanted, and have more energy than ever before. Why? Because I realized that I'm God's highest form of creation with mind-blowing abilities. You need to get in the mindset that you actually deserve this life, or you actually deserve these things in this life. Because if you don't, it's going to be constantly working against you, where you feel you're not good enough, you're dumb, or you can't do better. I probably had a very different upbringing than most of you who are watching this video right now, just due to the simple fact that my parents instilled into me as a very young child, I can do anything that I put my mind to, as long as I'm willing to work hard for it. So no matter what, I was always going to be successful in life. I just didn't know what route I was going to take. It might be due to my environment or the people that hang around me, but I never seem to find that within other people. They never tell me stories how their parents instilled into them at a very young age that they can conquer the world like my parents did. And now that I think about it, some of these people that I know tell me that their own parents don't even tell them that they love them unless they're drunk. Understanding this at an older age is perplexing to me. I could not even understand how some parents have kids and don't even treat them or raise them to believe that they are powerful beyond measure, but instead a resource eating machine that you constantly have to throw money at. It's almost as if they blame their children for the fact that they have to work these long-hour jobs and live this life that they don't want, when in all reality, it's their own fault. It's almost like this cycle of bringing one down just because I couldn't make it to the top, so I'm gonna make sure that you don't make it to the top either, or at least reinforce this idea that it's not within our nature, creating this cultural legacy of degeneracy and no purpose. Even though I had phases in my life where I was down and out and wasn't on task, on my purpose, I always knew deep down inside, in my heart of hearts, that I was gonna become somebody special, or at least do something for my family that has never been done before, because it was backed by validation from my parents and what they instilled in me at a very young age. But some people never get that. If anything, they get the complete opposite. You say you love yourself, but do you really? Are you really doing the correct things on a day-to-day basis that shows that you actually care for yourself, that you actually care for your future self and all of their goals, dreams, and ambitions? You really don't, because instead, you're laying on your bed listening to Drake while sparking one up and eating honey buns. Or not even that, just the simple fact that you continuously work this dead-end job where you know it's not going to get you anywhere, and then eventually over time you end up meeting somebody, get them pregnant, and now you're stuck at that dead-end job forever because you have to work to get money to provide for this child now. And that's how that resentment grows for this child when they didn't even ask to be here. Instead, you need to take responsibility and do what's right in your life. And if you don't, life will give you what you deserve. 100%. So don't ever question why you're not living the life that you want, or at least comparing it to these people on social media. Because at the end of the day, you're fully responsible for every little thing that happens in your life. Even if it's something that was passed down through generations, you're responsible to take care for it, even if it's not your fault. Life's not fair. The biggest thing that I see in the modern age is lack of self-expression. Instead, everybody wants to conform. Everyone wants to be just like the next person. And I truly do believe that's due to social media. We see the lives that these people live, and all of a sudden we want that for ourselves, when in all reality, it's unnatural and not normal. Many people conform to societal norms and expectations rather than following their true passions and interests, leading to an unfulfilling life path. When I was applying to college, I cannot even believe the amount of parents and friends for some people that did not want them to go, or they wanted them to go to a specific school so that they can be around. And trust me, from my experience, people are not that important. The only people that should be important to you are the ones that you actually love and care about. And sometimes that doesn't include your family. Unfortunately, it's so sad and crazy that family, friends, or even cultural traditions, like being religious, can push you into a career or relationship or even a certain lifestyle that you don't genuinely care for. And that's why you got all these people who live this life that they don't want. And they're so far into it, they just say, "F it, I might as well stay." And that's exactly why some people have midlife crisis. They don't know who they really are. They don't know what their true passions are. They don't even know why they were put on this earth. They don't even know who they truly are deep down inside. I always thought it was so funny how the symbol of a midlife crisis for a man is when he buys a motorcycle or a sports car. Dude could have literally done that in his 20s and 30s, but instead he made the wrong decisions and had the wrong priorities. And when it comes to women, their midlife crisis is when they start sleeping with other men, or just all of a sudden are not attracted to their partner anymore. And that's understandable to a certain point, but then you have to ask yourself, why are you in a relationship with this man to begin with? More than likely, it was pushed on you by your parents, friends, or just you thinking that this is what you really wanted, when it's not the case, because you truly didn't know who you are deep down inside and what you need from yourself and what you need from a partner. And with these societal pressures and expectations, some people choose for settling for convenience and complacency. Some people prioritize ease, stability, and familiarity over pursuing a life they genuinely care about, settling for a comfortable but uninspiring existence. I will never understand for the life of me, why do people work for Uber Eats, McDonald's, Amazon, retail jobs like Walmart, Target? Why do they do it? There's a time and place to work those type of jobs. High school, college, it's a gig work type of situation where you just need some money to get by, so that's what you're gonna make of it. But for some people, for some reason, they continue working this job well into their 30s, 40s, and 50s, and it's kind of sad. Out of this whole entire life that you are given, you choose to do the bare minimum, monotonous jobs that get you nowhere in life. If you're proud with that, so be it. But I gotta say, most people hate their lives when they go to work. And if this is you, you need to quit that job immediately and start focusing on your purpose, or at least try to identify why you're truly here. Time is of the essence. We do not have that much time here on this planet, so you need to do this quickly. It should have been done in your 20s. Saying that life got in the way is just an excuse. It doesn't make up for the shit life that you live. And that is why it's so important to start developing your self-awareness and introspection. Without taking the time for self-reflection and understanding your true desires, people will blindly follow the easiest and most conventional path in life. Lack of clarity about their values, strengths, and passions can lead to choices that don't align with your authentic selves. I'm so tired of watching videos on TikTok about men and women choosing bad partners, and then they end up crying and telling the world as if we should really care about them or their situation. Ma'am, I think the reason why you have depression, anxiety, is because you're making the wrong choices in life, and your body is trying to tell you something, but instead you're doing it just for the thrill, just for the gram, and just for the experience. I mean, we're only young once, right? But what is it going to cost when you're old? And this is why I say the majority of you watching this video never had that approval or validation from your parents, knowing that you're going to become somebody great or special. You're just like everybody else. Now, if you got this far into the video, you might be different after all. But let's see. These days, people have the attention span of a goldfish. They can't even focus on anything. No wonder your life sucks. Comment down below, I will achieve my dreams, if you've watched up to this part of the video. While I was in college, the two closest friends that I had, I tried to change their life as I did mine. Now, who am I to do this? You can question that yourself. But at the end of the day, I knew what was right for me, so I had an idea of what was right for them. One of them was trying to lose weight, while the other was trying to gain weight. Typical self-improvement journey that starts with the belief but they couldn't achieve it for some reason, no matter how patient I was with them, and I showed them all the steps that I went on. And then I realized fear of change and uncertainty is what stopped them in their path. I understand that the unknown can be daunting, causing people to stay in their comfort zones rather than pursue different paths that could bring more meaning and care to their lives. But at what cost? Are we really going to stay in this monotonous life where we're doing the same thing over and over again and we're not getting any new benefits from it, yet you're complaining constantly about the boring life that you live and the job that you hate? And that's when I knew I needed to change and become better. So now, when people talk to me about their lives, I instantly put them on a journey of self-improvement to better themselves, but they're not ready. Fear of failure, rejection, or financial instability can prevent people from making bold changes. And overall, the death of the ego itself is one of the hardest things to overcome. But trust me, in hard times, that ego will be tested and you will become better for it. Thinking that living a life of ease is something that you should be striving towards is ridiculous to me. You should constantly be seeking failure only to learn from those mistakes and get better. And only then can you truly live a life of fulfillment and happiness. If you truly want to better yourself and become the perfect version of yourself that you didn't know that you could become, I'm gonna put it like this. You need to brace yourself. The foremost thing that you have to understand is that people are stupid, like really, really stupid. The human race is infested with smooth-brained, intellectually stunted, physically revolting, emotionally erratic pseudo-Neanderthals. They're everywhere, an inescapable plague of idiocy. Don't take their nonsense personally though. As the wise Marcus Aurelius said, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your own estimate of it. For some reason, being a stoic in this modern time is looked down upon. People think that you're repressing your emotions when in reality, you're coming to terms with your emotions and choosing not to act on them. A person who is constantly emotional and crying is just the same as somebody who's quick to anger or has anger issues. They're both super emotional and don't know how to work through their feelings. Something that I take to heart is the fact that your coworkers and boss, they're not your friends. It's just business. Save the fake team bonding charades for suckers who care about Brenda's brat kids and Bob's insane weather ramblings. You're there to work, not make besties. Save those experiences for when you're pursuing your hobbies, things that you actually like to do, and finding somebody that you like to do it with. That's when you could build real friends and camaraderie for somebody who enjoys the same thing as you, instead of being forced to work with somebody and like them. Now let's talk about dating. Men and women, stay away from them, at least for now. She's not the one. She's busy texting her work husband about how big his report is, if you catch my drift. Beauty is attracted, not pursued. Needy desperation repels anything truly valuable. Instead of chasing skirts, become the kind of man a quality woman would actually want, and vice versa for women. I don't know why it's such a problem to be modest nowadays. The internet will have you believe it's almost essential to have a whole face and become a thought at the age of 21. Don't listen to that. You're only gonna ruin your life and regret it when you're older. I can tell you already, you're not gonna wanna hear this one, but you need to cut out all your friends in your life, especially the ones that are bringing you down. Just think about it. Do they actually really care for you? Are you the first one that's always hitting them up to do something? Yeah, they're not your friend. They're just benefiting from you. That's the only reason they're sticking around. Bad friends, though they're worse than enemies at least push you to do better. Bad friends, on the other hand, are a slow death by 1,000 crappy attitude cuts. You're the average of your 5 people you spend the most time with, so choose wisely. Speaking of time, say no more often. Time is limited, so protect it fiercely. Don't feel obligated to make excuses. No is a complete sentence. People are just rats anyway. And most importantly, do it now. Don't just think about taking chances or pursuing dreams. The best time was yesterday, but the next best time is right now. You're young with relatively little to lose, so swing for the fences. Start that business, start that YouTube channel, whatever, just do it. Because at the end of the day, no one is coming to save you. All you have is yourself. I say these words because I love you and I want you to do better. Now go make it happen.